My name is George Brent, Dr. George Brent. I am a speaker at the Holocaust Museum.
Mein Name ist Frank Stern, es war früher Franz, bevor es Frank war. Und, aber Franz in Englisch bekam es Franz und das hört sich etwas scheußlich an. Ich komme von Frankfurt.
I want people to know that I'm very, very afraid of what's happening right now, and my hope is that when I speak, people will take it in and learn from it, from the past. That's why I'm here.
Two of the wonderful interns that I spoke about that are currently serving this year at the Holocaust Museum. Thank you so much. Okay.
So what are we supposed to introduce ourselves?
Say your name, who you are, what you do.
I don't remember it anymore. My name is Fritzi Fritschel, and I'm a Holocaust survivor, and I'm here in the Illinois Holocaust Museum this morning.
And I'm Aaron Elster, also a survivor.
People remember that Holocaust exists and not anymore. Never forget, that's my motto.
When I came to Chicago, I couldn't handle my past. The Holocaust happened to my family. It happened to 6 million people, but it didn't happen to me. When I got on this train, I was not quite 13. I lined up with adults. Then they called age. And I told my mother she was in the wrong line. She went into a different line. And I asked several hours later when I would see my mother, they pointed to the smoke. This has been a heavy burden to carry. My son came to me one day and he said, Mom, I need to know, and your grandchildren will need to know. And this is what I became the survivor. I had a promise that I needed to keep. I have so much more to tell you, so please ask me questions.
What was it that kept you going during your time in Auschwitz?
I think during the time in Auschwitz, I really wanted to survive. I was very young, and that gave me some advantage at that point. And I wanted to survive. I was hoping my mother and my brothers had survived, and so I was anxious to survive and see them again. Things were very tough while we were in Auschwitz, and it was moment to moment. So one moment I thought that I would go to the gas chambers. One moment I wanted to survive and not go to the gas chambers. But I think youth was on my side, where it always gave me hope.
Do you think God helped you?
The question is, did God help me? The answer is that I don't know. I went in believing in God. While I was in Auschwitz, I know there was no God in Auschwitz. There was no God because he or she could not have watched such suffering in human beings, such cruelty that human beings can do to other human beings. And while I was in Auschwitz, I believed there was no God in Auschwitz. So coming out I don't know. I still have many issues with that, and I can't go into it.
Do you think that your attitude towards motivation or whatever kept you going changed during your life?
I think life changes as we get older, and it definitely changed me coming out of the concentration camp. I think I've become more sensitive. I've become more aware of what is happening in the world today, and this is what I try to do here in the museum. This is what I try to do when I walk in here and we speak to the students, and I definitely think that life has changed me since, yes, especially getting older. You get wiser as you get older.
I remember when seeing your hologram, that one thing that really impressed me was when you told the story of you and the 500 women who each gave you a piece of their bread in order for you to have more food and to carry their story. How did you cope with that message when you were liberated?
Well, I was one of the lucky ones. I was lucky when we were in the boxcar and a Jewish man that was emptying the boxcars in Auschwitz, whose job it was to get down the luggage and everything, and he looked at children like myself and kept saying, when you get off, remember you're 15. I was 13 years old. He already knew that children under the age of 15 would go to the gas chamber, so he was the first to save my life. I had met my aunt while I was in Auschwitz. She helped me come through every single day, go through every single day. Then I was taken out of Auschwitz and I was put to do slave labor in a factory. And while I was there, I was also the youngest. And so the 599 women who were starving, literally starving in that factory, wanted to make sure that someone survived and someone carried on and someone told their story, so the world could see and know what happened during those darkest days. And because I was so young, I was chosen. And every night when the food came, the tiny piece of bread that came, that everybody looked forward to because we were all starving, these 599 women lined up and gave one crumb of bread, one little crumb of bread to me. I had 599 little crumbs. In turn, I promised that if I would survive, I would be their messenger. And every time I stand up and speak or I walk into the museum, as the day goes by, I never forget those 599 women. And I have been their messenger all of these many years. And I think it's time for someone else to take over and carry this burden. What's driving me today is that I know how old I am, and the fear is that when we survivors are no longer here, the revisionists and the people that don't believe there was a Holocaust are out there spreading all these terrible, terrible stories that we are the liars. There is irrefutable evidence of what happened in Auschwitz and Majdanek and Treblinka and other camps. And so what's driving me is that the message be out there, that it never be forgotten.
Was there ever any point in your life where you lost hope?
You know, I was very young. I wanted to survive. I always wanted to live. I always wanted to survive. But there was a time when they were walking us to the gas chambers, when we were hungry, when we were cold, when we felt there is no hope, all of us pretty much gave up hope that we would survive. But hope is very strange. And even though they were walking us to the gas chambers, there was always that little bit of hope that maybe something will happen. Maybe I will survive. And so there was always hope.
The Holocaust starts in June 1941. I was standing on the balcony of our apartment in the city of Lvov, and looking to my left, I saw the German army entering my city. And I heard their footsteps on the cobblestones, and I knew that my life would never be the same. We end up in the ghetto. My father is taken to the Auschwitz concentration camp. One day, in the ghetto, we see that there is a secret exit, and a cone of people with armbands are walking outside to walk. And my mother, in a split second, puts me in the end of the line and orders me to leave. She pushes me, and the door gets closed behind me, and I am on the other side. They send me to Stuttgart, Germany to work as a Polish forced laborer. I became a kitchen maid. Every day we lived in fear. Fear of being found out, of being arrested, of being sent away. We were liberated by the French army of General Leclerc in April 1945. It was in Paris that I began to live again. I married another survivor. We had a son, we moved to America, and had 2 more. I had lived, but many died, and I needed to speak out both for myself and for them. But I have told you only part of my story, so please ask me questions.
How many years do you have to go?
It's 6 years and then another 2 or even more years, depending on what kind of doctor you want to become. So it takes like 10 years or more.
Oh my gosh, not that. It's so nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
How did you cope with being a survivor after the Holocaust?
I went about daily routine. We had activities. We had to go to school. I had to learn pterodactyl, and then I got a job, so I went to work. And then I changed jobs, so I went to the other organization. And so that was just daily routine of a person who's working.
It's nice that you have time today. We want to talk about motivation and especially about the topic what keeps you going in life and what motivated you during the Holocaust.
All right. Well, right now, I actually experience the joy of life. I experience it every day when I get up. I have nice house. I can look out the window and I see the trees in all kinds of weather. It's in the spring when they bloom, in the summer when they are all green. I'm happy with what I have. I have a wonderful family situation. I have 3 sons who are very doting and loving, and I can talk to them and yell at them and do anything, and they are in their mind.
Yeah. Can you describe what motivated or what kept you going during the Holocaust?
Well, I don't know if I can truly, because what I was doing during the Holocaust was a response. There were some moments that I was, when I was very angry, that I really commented on my condition. What condition was that? That we happened to be in a room in which there were several people waiting for a transport to the death camp. So, what do you think when you wait for your death? What comes to your mind? And I wasn't sorry for myself. I was just angry because I was pretty young. I think I was about 15, 16, something like that. And here I thought I had a whole life before me, and here I was waiting for death. Now, what kind of justice is that? And I don't know if I talked to God or not. I don't know if I prayed or not. I think I did pray, though. I did pray. I was afraid, and I expressed my fear. I was afraid that nobody, not only maybe the people will know about our death, but nobody will know about our lives, how we lived, who we were. We would die without name. We would die without grave. Nobody's going to come to our grave to pray or to put flowers on it. And that made me very angry. And then I was thinking, I said, even the French aristocrats, when they were condemned to the guillotine, before they were killed, before their head was cut off by the guillotine, their name was announced, but their name was mentioned, and they didn't die without name. We went in the garden, and it was beautiful weather, and I was being angry because the weather was beautiful, and the people were being rounded up. So I was coming out, and my mother and I, and here all of a sudden the guy screamed, "Halt!" Not screamed, he didn't scream, he called, "Halt!" So we turned around, and that was the guardian of the villa. And then he started to talk to me in German. And I answered in Polish. I said, "I'm so sorry, I don't speak German." So he got very angry. He grabbed me by the throat, actually, and started screaming, "How dare you!" and called me ugly names. I don't want to say. Well, he called me, I think, dirty Jew or something like that. Something very offending. And so I got very angry. I said, "No," I said, "I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth. I really don't know any German. But why shouldn't I lie? I'm 16 years old and I want to live. Oh, and the weather is so beautiful, and the sky is blue. The sky is blue and the trees are green, and I'm 16. That's what I said, exactly, in that order.
Working at the Holocaust Museum gives us a chance to meet many Holocaust survivors on a daily basis, because every field trip ends with a speech of a survivor. When planning this interview project, it was really important to us to honor this by talking not only to one, but to several of the survivors.
It is a privilege for both of us to be able to spend time with survivors every single day. Since this is so special for us, we wanted to make this not only an interview, but a memory of our time here.
Hearing so many different stories from Holocaust survivors is such a unique opportunity for us. Many of the survivors at the museum are so optimistic, positive thinking, and enthusiastic human beings. For me, it was really impressive to listen to Janine's painful and cruel story and experience her joy of life at the same time. That's something I really could learn from her. She and many of the survivors inspire me with their attitude toward life and their energy and their motivation and positivity.
Talking to survivors, and in this case interviewing Fritzi, really means a lot to me.
It is a privilege I do not take for granted. It was incredibly touching and impressive to hear Fritzi's stories, experience how she survived, and what her perspective on the past is. It also made me realize again how incomprehensible her suffering is to me, and therefore how great of an accomplishment it is for her to be able to talk about all of this so often, reliving it every single time. We want to thank all the survivors, the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center, and Action Reconciliation for making all of this possible and giving us the opportunity to do what we're doing.